So, yeah, we're back this week, and obviously more about this business of consumption, consuming, sorting out the difference between want and need, and what's really going on. How much do we need? How much do we think we need? How much do we really need? All of that, it's in that space. It's in that space, that complex, very complex dimension of our lives. How many resources do we use? There's so many angles. Well, I want to speak a little bit more about food because it's a big one for all of us. We kind of left off on that um, a couple of weeks ago, and it's such a big one for us. And in all of these areas, and all of the invitations that we offer to you, and along the way here, to take a closer look, and more of a feeling into one aspect after another aspect of your experience, things that aren't really foreign to us, but let's go in further. Let's zoom in a little bit more. It's really so much of the practice is about that. And so much of the practice is about being willing to turn toward aspects of our experience that we'd rather not turn toward. That's actually a lot of what the practice is. It takes a little bit of courage because we're not wired to turn toward the difficult. We're not. We're wired to want the pleasant, want to keep the difficult away. We organize our lives around that a lot. Yeah. And we know that there's rough stuff out there, but yeah. And sometimes we just hope in meditation that all of that stuff will just go away and never arise anymore. Yeah. But that hasn't worked so far, right? Yeah. And the invitation, and this is the Buddha's invitation. He said it is possible to move to a deeper level of wellness, and wholeness and ease. But you have to be willing to turn toward some of the things that you'd rather not turn toward. Susan has that wonderful expression, love everything into the fold of mindfulness. Yeah, that's a nice idea. Yeah, but we just want some things to go away. And a lot of our habits, some of those things that we kind of do not quite consciously, are operating in the food space, in our relationship to food. Yeah. Some of our habits and our patterns actually exist in the absence of mindfulness. It's almost like mindfulness needs not to be there. I don't want mindfulness to be there. I kind of want to do this thing and not really pay attention to what I'm feeling as I'm doing it. Yeah. Have you ever done that? Reaching for like the third or fourth piece of chocolate, or something that, there's an impulse there. There's a part of you that wants that, but you don't really want to feel what you're feeling as you're doing that. This is true for all of us. We have these, like we're partitioning off what I'm doing with what I'm actually feeling and what's happening in the body. But even what's happening in the mind, I'd rather not. Thank you very much. I just want to eat this thing. I just want more. I just want, to pretend it's not going to hurt me if I eat this, if I eat more of this stuff. There's a lot that goes on in that space, and so much of the practice, and it's true with this as well. I'm going to give you a very specific example. So much of the practice is being willing to slow down a little bit, pause a little bit, and feel into it. We'd rather not. We're moving at a mile a minute. It's like, well, I don't want to stop. I want to feel this. I'd rather not. I'd rather not. And the whole point of it, well, why do that? Why are we doing it? We need to understand. We need to have the answer to this. Why would I want to turn towards something that's difficult? Because it's there, as the Buddha reminds us, that we begin to see what we're up to, what we're actually up to, and how it actually feels. So we need, then the organism can learn what it wants to keep, what patterns feel good and I want to keep around, and which patterns are like, oh, I've been doing this thing, but now I see it doesn't feel very good. And that's where wisdom can start to make some changes in what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. We have to take a closer look at those impulses, some of those impulses around food. And the simplest way, I think most of you have done an eating meditation somewhere along the way, but how often have you done it at home? I'll bet not very often. How many of you even pause? This is pause, and pause, right? How many of you even take a moment? There used to be, I don't know, maybe some of you still do. In the old days, when I was a kid, it used to be grace, saying grace. Okay, the Buddhist grace is just pause for a moment. Pause for a moment, appreciate for a moment. Of course, appreciate, I want to bring some gratitude in there. Look, where did this food come from? All that, right? Look, this is amazing. This is amazing. Okay. Even that, we tend not to do that. There's that sense of, yep, let's eat. Manja. Yeah, let's just eat. Right? We're on to impulse already. Instead of like, okay, here we go. We're about to eat. I'm about to put something in my mouth. Yeah? And what I'm going to encourage you to do, play with this, right? Is to slow down. We can't do this with a whole meal, but for a couple of bites, the first couple of bites, right? Just to take something slowly. Close your eyes and set it on your tongue. Don't even start chewing for a moment. There's a whole world of experience that will happen right there. It will come to you if you just pause. First of all, the saliva is happening all by itself. I'm not making that happen. No, the body is already responding to this. Yeah. But also, what's the mind doing? What's the mind doing? You'll notice. You'll notice all of this, right? Okay, this thing's. But actually, I'm already wanting to get on with the next bite, and there's already a kind of a speed in there, and there's kind of a wanting, a kind of wanting. It's craving. There's this sense in Buddhism that craving is the source of a lot of our dukkha. But how often do we actually stop and feel craving? This is an opportunity to do it. Just like this. This is craving. This is what the Buddha talked about. Watch this. It's on your tongue, and the mind is going, oh. It's kind of like, have you ever seen a baby bird with its mouth open? The mother's feeding the baby bird. Have you ever had that image with that? Yeah. We all have that baby bird in us. We do. But we don't feel that all the time, but it's there. And it's like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is craving. Yeah? This is craving. And if you stay with this for another moment, if you actually take this as a meditation, it's a powerful meditation. Powerful meditation. You will notice this. This is proxy for a lot of things in life, okay? The taste of the food, the wonderful taste of the food. There's a whole world of taste there too that we tend to kind of bypass in our speed, right? The taste of the food is not enhanced at all by the craving. Check it out. There's no value added at all to the craving. That doesn't mean that the taste goes away. The taste is what it is. It's amazing. Yeah. But then there's this other thing, which is craving, wanting the next bite. What oh, you feel it. You literally like almost a lunging. Almost is like, right? It's like, oh, what a primal thing this is. This is a deep, deep part of our nature, you know? Yeah. Yeah. And so just slowing down, we we bear witness to something very primal in us around food. Very primal, you know? And a lot can show up there. A lot can show up there about how fast we eat, how much we eat, and how we just don't really want to be mindful about the process. It's such a simple thing. Just slowing down for a couple of bites, as if it were a really cool experiment. And understanding your part of our true nature. We sometimes think true nature is something fancy and far. It's right here, your true nature. Right here when you're eating. You know? And it's all about that relationship again between consumption, how much, not just how much, but the way in which we consume and the way in which we go slightly unconscious in the way we consume. Yeah, yeah. So powerful. And I really encourage you all to play with that, to explore that. Okay. Yeah. And we'll have many opportunities, right? Because we have to eat every day. And it's like, wow, so much has been going on here. And I never really paid this much attention to it. So a lot is revelatory when you do that, in the sense that it's revealed. A lot is revealed when you simply pause, slow it down, close the eyes too. There's too much going on out here. There's just, wow. So I'm gonna encourage you to play with that. Okay. Thank you so much.